For thousands gathered in Dealey Plaza, it was supposed to be another ordinary Friday. A presidential visit, a chance to wave, a chance to witness history. Then, history changed forever. Within seconds, confusion spread faster than facts. The investigation would have to wait. One mission remained: save the president. Only days later, the celebration had become mourning. Millions searched for answers long before anyone had them. For ordinary families, history had suddenly become personal. An entire nation paused to say goodbye. To understand how America reached this moment, we have to return to the days before the shots echoed through Dealey Plaza. To understand what happened, we have to return to the beginning. America was confident, but far from peaceful. The Cold War shaped every decision. Change was happening everywhere. Like every political leader, President Kennedy traveled to meet the American people. Texas was simply the next stop. Dallas prepared to welcome its president. No one imagined they were preparing to witness history. For one Dallas family, this Friday would begin like every other. The day began hundreds of miles from Washington, with another stop on a political tour through Texas. By late morning, Air Force One arrived in Dallas. Thousands had come simply to see their president. John Kennedy rarely missed an opportunity to meet the people waiting for him. Every movement followed a carefully planned schedule. To those protecting the president, this was another official motorcade. For the thousands lining the streets, this promised to be a day they would never forget. For those who weren't standing in the crowd, the only warning was the panic racing toward them. Only moments earlier, these strangers had shared a celebration. Now, they shared confusion. Even before investigators arrived, the witnesses disagreed. Everyone had heard the same gunfire. Not everyone believed it came from the same place. Police reacted immediately, but before they could search for a suspect, they first had to decide where to look. The gunfire had ended, but the person responsible had already vanished. As history sped toward Parkland Hospital, Dealey Plaza was left searching for answers. Only minutes after the president was attacked, Dallas was shaken by another shooting. The quiet neighborhood became another crime scene. Witnesses could only offer fragments, a direction, a description, and a man disappearing into Oak Cliff. The search was no longer centered on Dealey Plaza. It was moving across Dallas. Then came another report. A suspicious man had entered the Texas Theater. For the first time that afternoon, the manhunt had a destination.
You're under arrest!
Before anyone outside knew what was happening, the manhunt reached its most dangerous moment. According to the officers at the scene, the suspect tried to fire once more. The revolver never discharged. Seconds later, the struggle was over. The man in custody was 24-year-old Lee Harvey Oswald, a former U.S. Marine employee at the Texas School Book Depository. For the first time that afternoon, investigators had someone to question, but identifying a suspect was only the beginning. At 1 p.m. Dallas time, Walter Cronkite returned to the air with an announcement America had been dreading. He removed his glasses, paused, and looked down at the report in front of him. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy had died at Parkland Memorial Hospital. The official time of death was 1 p.m. Friday, November 22, 1963. Across Dallas, the news moved from television sets into homes, schools, offices, and every conversation. At Dealey Plaza, the celebration was already gone. Only police, witnesses, and unanswered questions remained. "I'm just a patsy," said this in front of the cameras, and it will echo through history. Surrounded by reporters, those 4 words were spreading all across the country. Almost immediately, America began asking the same question. What did he mean? The man in custody was Lee Harvey Oswald, 24 years old, a former United States Marine, an employee of the Texas School Book Depository. When asked about the accusations, Oswald denied any involvement. "I didn't shoot anybody." Whether Lee Harvey Oswald was telling the truth wouldn't be decided by his words. Only 2 days after losing their president, Americans witnessed another act of violence unfold before their eyes. The shooter was Jack Ruby, a Dallas nightclub owner with no official law enforcement role. In a matter of seconds, the investigation changed forever. Instead of bringing answers, the case became even more complicated. 48 hours later, Parkland Memorial Hospital stood at the center of history once again. While confusion spread through Dealey Plaza, one camera had captured nearly everything. Abraham Zapruder was not a journalist. He was a Dallas clothing manufacturer. The film lasted only seconds, but inside those frames, investigators now had a permanent visual record of the assassination. Frame by frame, the film could preserve what witnesses remembered differently. What began as one citizen's home movie would become one of the most examined films in history. The film preserved the moment. It did not end the argument. The shooting was over. The investigation had only begun. Every photograph, every measurement, every witness became part of the investigation. Some witnesses believed the shots came from the grassy knoll. Others pointed elsewhere. Physical evidence, witness testimony, and forensic analysis would become the foundation of the case. To examine the evidence, President Lyndon B. Johnson established the Warren Commission. History is built on facts. Investigations ask questions. Theories attempt to explain what questions leave behind. For days, America has searched for answers. Today, it simply said goodbye. Like millions of others, they will remember exactly where they were. The investigation would continue. The debates would continue. But for one family and one nation, the loss was already final. History preserved the evidence. People preserved the memory. Both remain essential to understanding November 22nd, 1963. More than 60 years have passed. New generations now stand where history was made.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own.